Take 77.
Ball in Boulder.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, do you want to start walking, or why don't you start it?
Do we want an intro like that, or can we not have an intro of the nature or something? Hey guys, it's Justin and Jeanni here. I don't like that.
Do you want me to do the
Hello.
intro?
Yes.
All right. Hey guys, Justin and Jeanni here, the podium finisher at 70.3 Worlds. And Jeanni, tell us how your legs are feeling right now.
Well, I'm okay today. I couldn't walk. When was it? On Monday? I couldn't walk downstairs. I got a little bit better yesterday, and I can finally go down the stairs today.
Oh, good. Anyways, we're on a leisurely evening walk here in Boulder, and we just want to talk about Jeanni's race, which was absolutely incredible for anyone that followed the tracker or watched the race on Facebook Watch. Just obviously, I'm first and foremost so proud of Jeanni. That was incredible. And yeah, I just want to ask you a couple questions about the race, because I think we got to give the people what they want. We got to talk about the race.
Okay.
And so my first question is this. So you've been 8th at 70.3 Worlds in Chattanooga, 7th at Port Elizabeth 70.3 Worlds in South Africa, and you've had multiple 70.3 wins in your career. And I think the discussion has always been, Jeanni's got the talent for sure, but can she elevate on the world's biggest stage? Was that a question mark for you going in, and did you feel like people weren't looking at you going into this one? Did you feel like you were slept on going in as one of the podium favorites?
Well, I mean, I've definitely dreamt about being on the podium at a 70.3 World Championship for a long time now. I've been a professional athlete for 9 years, and it's always been a goal of mine. And I guess when you fall short of that, yes, that self-doubt definitely comes into your mind, and I think it's always there, but you just kind of got to manage that. And I guess going into this World Championship, I felt like there was no focus on me, just because maybe my year wasn't as good, if you will, or I wasn't winning races, so people weren't really focusing on me, but that played into my favor. I kind of liked it. It took some pressure off me, and I just kind of went in with low expectations and just focused on executing my best performance on that day, and it definitely helped on the race day.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I don't think people will be sleeping on Jeanni anymore. Jeanni Metzler's always going to have that 70.3 Worlds podium attached to your resume. So I think, like, yeah, that low under the radar approach is great, and I think we've got to find a way to replicate that. But I do have a feeling that you're going to be on some press conferences and some video coverage before whatever race you do coming up. So yeah, that's awesome. I think I also want to talk about, if you want to go out there and rewatch the race, it's, there's replays out there, and you can check out all that. But I think one of the big things that people want to know about is that pivotal moment on the run. It came down to the run. So you had an awesome swim, you had a phenomenal bike. I think your quote unquote relative weakness in the past has been the bike, but you proved that you were right in there with the mix. You came off with all the girls, you executed an awesome plan, and then once you get on 2 feet, that's where, the gloves are off. And so walk me through a little bit what that was like battling with Taylor, who is one of your closest friends and training partners, and you guys battling out for the podium. What was that like?
I mean, it was just incredible. Just the race is one of my favorites, and you just never really know how you're going to feel going onto the run after such a hard bike like that. Some crazy weather rolled through, and it was super windy and rainy, and I just didn't know how my run legs would be. You're always like crossing your fingers, please be on today. Yeah. And I just kind of controlled the first few miles, and I had to stay patient. And then, once it could open up on the back end, the first downhill, I was able to close the gap to Taylor, and I was able to see her. So the gap was kind of like 40 seconds at that point. And I've had the privilege of training with Taylor this year, which has been incredible, and I've learned so much from her. And we've raced each other twice, or actually once, not really against each other in the Collins Cup, but I've raced her in Boulder earlier this year, and I took a lot away from that race, where I actually caught up to her and passed her, and she repassed me right at the end, which was pretty brutal. But it was a great lesson that I took away, and was able to like kind of use that again in this race, because I knew that I had to, when I passed her, I really had to put her away. And Taylor's an athlete that doesn't give you an inch, and she's super tough. And I knew that. I knew, like, it took everything that I had just to catch her. At that point, the second loop got really hard, and at that point you have to climb up that hill again, and there was another descent, and at that point my legs were really in pain. Like, going down those hills, it's super tough, but I was able to pass her, and at that point I still knew that there was a possibility that she would pass me again, and so I couldn't give up. I had to keep going, and I had to really dig deep to push myself to this really dark place to make it to the finish line. And you kind of finish the race on a really steep downhill, and yeah, my quads were in pain, but I was able to hold her off, and it was just such a great feeling to know that I was able to beat her, because she's a great athlete and a friend of mine. And yeah, once I crossed the finish line, I'm obviously super stoked for her, and she was happy for me too. And it's just a great dynamic to have, and I think it made for a very exciting race.
Yeah, I stayed home in St. George under Jeanni's instructions. She went there with her mom. So if you saw any of the finish line pictures, I think it was pretty clear that was the right move. Obviously her race performance showed that. And I was in the apartment, like, banging on the desk, like, freaking out. I think the neighbors thought a murder was happening. But I was just it was just coming down to the wire, and I was just, like, so excited for you, because it was just such a breakthrough. And it was awesome. I think if anyone saw some of those images from the finish line, I think it was pretty clear your emotion in that finish shoot. So just tell me, like, what were you thinking in that moment? Were you elated? Was it triumph? Was it proving the haters and the doubters wrong? Like, what was it that gave you that kind of, like, fist pump in the air? Like, it seemed like I did it, but what were you thinking?
I think it was a combination of many emotions, but I think I was just mostly overwhelmed, and firstly with that I was able to do that, so I kind of, like, surprised myself, maybe a little bit of disbelief, and then just, like, I guess just pure joy, because it's been a goal of mine for a long time, and to actually have that happen, it was just a great feeling.
It was amazing. Yeah, I was just so happy for Jeanni, like, just such an incredible performance. And I think that one of the final questions that I've got for you is, this has been a banner year for us both. I think, with some of the results that I've had, obviously your amazing season so far. What has been one of the biggest factors that's helped us take it to the next level?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, I've been a professional athlete for 9 years now, and it's almost impossible to make it in the sport with prize money alone. So to have a sponsor that helps financially, the way we have been supported this year by Waterfall Bank has just been incredible, and I'm just so grateful to have that. It's just been, just like really we were able to just focus in on high performance and things that maybe we weren't able to do in previous years, where money was really a problem, and like, maybe not a problem, but it just wasn't easy financially for us, and there was a lot of stresses going on outside of actually just focusing in on races. And I think we were able to do that this year, to just really focus in on going to the races that we wanted to go to, and doing everything in our power to take that start line, knowing that we put in the work and all the things that make us high performance athletes, and we're not able to do that without the sponsorship that we receive from the bank this year. So,
been incredible. So thank you so much, Waterfall. And we've got something super awesome to tell you guys about. So if you followed Jeanni's race, you followed any of my races this season, you know how instrumental the bank has been part of our process this season. And so this has all been building up this year to this awesome announcement. And this week, Waterfall has launched their bank, and they've also launched a debit card associated with the bank. So I think it's pretty clear how invested they have been in triathlon. They've supported Jeanni and I this entire season, and even last season during the pandemic. They've allowed us to take it to another level, and they believe in us in the long term in order to win huge races. So I know, Jeanni, this was a breakthrough performance for you, but when you're second, just like I was in Coeur d'Alene, there's one more step to go. And I think we both have big goals, and we're gonna take however long it takes and do whatever it takes in order to make that next leap to win big races. And so Waterfall's been a big supporter of that. So obviously heavily invested in triathlon, and for all the triathlon fans out there, this is a brand that you guys can support and know that, you know, a triathlete is one of the founders and they're really invested in this sport. So that's number one. Number two, the debit card itself, which is absolutely beautiful. Bang, right there. Waterfall Bank. It says Justin Big Mets Metzler on it. I think you can put your name on there, you know, have a little nickname, whatever you guys want. Awesome Waterfall Bank logo, and it's branded specifically for triathlon. So you got a little swim bike run here. No other credit card out there or debit card is doing that. So awesome perk of having the card. And so what we would kindly ask you guys to do is go on your phone and download the app to set up an account. One of the things that you can do when you open an account is be eligible to have a free $50. Who doesn't like a little extra cash? I know I do. So yeah, download the app and you know, you'll be eligible to do that. And then when they ask you, where did you hear about the card? You just have to say triathlon. That's it. And then you're eligible. And you'd be doing us a massive service by supporting one of our major supporters. And it just really goes a long way. So thank you, Waterfall Bank. And
Yes.
Jeanni, any closing thoughts here on the race or the bank or anything?
No, it's just a really exciting week. So if you need more information or want to hear more about that, please just reach out to us and we'd be happy to help with more of those details. And yes, thanks again to Waterfall Bank, and we have exciting things coming up.
Yeah, just give a little shout out in the comments to Jeanni. I mean, just like, I'm still riding the high from this performance. Like, show her some love in the comments. Podium at 70.3 Worlds, that was absolutely phenomenal. Like, yeah, I'm just riding the high, you're riding the high. It's just awesome. So I'm just so proud of you. Great job.
And just thanks again to everyone who follows our journey. Justin has been a huge part of my performance too. And we just really appreciate all the followers.
Yeah, love you guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.